If we're going to properly protect ourselves, we've got to deliver some pain. Sometimes we face opponents that are bigger and stronger. We just can't throw weak shots. We've got to know what actually hurts. I'm going to show you in this video.
411 Outdoors is supported in part by Fisher Blades.
Although I believe everyday carry items such as firearms, pepper spray, edge tools, impact tools are our greatest equalizers when it comes to a real bodily threat, I still believe some faculties concerning the ability to fight with our bare hands and to use our body matters. There's 3 parts of our body that's packed with bone density that can deliver much force. The 3 tools I'm going to be talking about in this video have one major thing in common, and that is they thrive in a clinch. And real life physical altercations often end up in clinches. I'm going to show you each one, and I'm going to provide some tutorial. Before moving forward, I'm going to address the elephant in the room, and that is the fact that I'm going to be demonstrating techniques on an object that is not fighting me back. People watch videos like this, they comment and they say, man, this is crap. Bob isn't fighting you back. He isn't hitting you. It's very easy to demonstrate that technique. Well, it is, but you have to learn the technique before you can go to the next level and be able to use it in the real world. I mentioned the clinch earlier, and a good clinch, if done properly, makes it difficult for people to easily hit you back. There's a fight that took place in the UFC, and I know that none of us are UFC fighters, but it shows you the effectiveness of a good clinch, not just in holding someone in the clinch, but moving them around and putting yourself in a position to do the strikes that I'm going to cover in this video. In fact, I will include that fight in the description section of this video. Something I will do in a future video as well is get one of my training partners and show you how to control someone in the clinch. But as far as this video is concerned, I simply want to focus on the attacks or the technique. Now, let's talk about our weapons. One would be our elbows. We're missing out if we don't train elbows a lot. It's one way that we can hit somebody with a lot of force and run a very low risk of injury. This is the spur of the human body. An elbow isn't done like a wing. It's cut this way. And it's a lot of it. You're hitting right there, all that force and all that power. And it's in tight and it's very unpleasant. Think of a circle. You can hit across the circle. You can hit upwards. You can slice down. You can slice this way. And you can come right in the middle of it. If I'm in a tight clinch or battle, and it just gets no more devastating than a good elbow, capitalize in that right moment. A great drill to do is to just get your hands up and throw that elbow across this way. Look how my hand is tucked under my armpit, allowing me to go through my target, but I'm also guarded here. Now let's make use of this weapon. Bang. See that? Did the same thing. Let's make use of this weapon. Bang. Just keep interchanging. Boom. 1, 2. As far as practical application, a great place to elbow is right in this region, right under that ear, behind the jaw, in this region. That leads to a lot of knockouts, but you can also elbow straight in between. You can come in between and elbow here to the front of the face, but that chopping elbow there is devastating. Sometimes you can use that elbow as a simple force or a bridge between you and them. If you get one, just keep delivering them. Don't ever stop attacking until you know you're free. The second part of our body is our battering ram. It's right here. Headbutts can be painful, very painful. Painful to the other guy, but painful to you if you do it wrong. If you headbutt somebody with just the front of your forehead, you could probably knock yourself out. You have to use this little battering ram, this little tough part of the head. You can feel it. You can take your fist and touch it. You can feel that tough part of the head right here. It's like a battering ram. You can take a lot there. It's not pleasant. You're going to feel some impact, but it's going to be a world of difference than just coming upside somebody's head with the wrong part of yours. Headbutting someone impromptu is very difficult. Now, I have seen footage where a guy took a headbutt right out of the blue, It happens, especially if somebody's like totally unaware. I've seen people headbutt somebody just simply standing in front of them, but I think a headbutt is best used in some form of a clinch. If I'm in tight with someone, we're struggling, we're battling, I get in tight now, it's a whole lot easier for me to pull him into my head. Just like that. I'm coming up with that ram. That's extremely devastating, my friend. Now, I do want to point out something. In that previous clip, you saw me with my hands here. Really what you want to be is on the crown. The reason why I say that is, if you grab me by the back of the head and you try to push my head forward, I can tighten my neck up, and it's very hard. Things change when you grab that crown. It's much easier to pull the head forward. That's why in the clinch, we're here, because we want to pull him in. He can tighten his neck up if I'm just here. We want to be here. So if I'm here, I can pull his head forward a lot easier. If we're just standing in front of each other and I'm trying to disengage, it's a whole lot easier for me to just touch him versus standing here and going, see, that takes a lot of time. You can hit some morons with that, but not a lot of people. This is why we say don't stand in somebody's face, because they're so much closer to you. The main reason why people get hit with an impromptu headbutt like that is because they were right there. You can already see the redness right there from me hitting Bob. You're gonna have a lot more redness if you headbutt someone. There's this saying that says nobody wins with a headbutt. I do disagree. If a headbutt is done properly and somebody takes that battering ram and smashes against your nose with it, you're gonna be hurting a lot more than they are. They're gonna be able to shake it off, maybe a little bit of a dazed impact. But if you get your nose smashed with someone's headbutt, it hurts, man. It might even put you out of the game. Now let's recap. From here, I can drive down. I can. If I'm careful enough, I can hit the right place. But what I prefer is to drive in. Just like that, man. Upwards with that ram right in that nose. The third thing we're going to look at is knees. A knee landed proper is devastating. You can't just sit there and take them. All knees are unpleasant, but they become especially unpleasant when you turn them into a stabbing weapon. This is one of the first things that clicked with me when I first started training in Muay Thai. Now with this teaching, we should cover a proper clinch. I want to be here and here. I want to control this crown, as I mentioned in the headbutt segment. I want to control the crown because I can pull his head forward a lot easier. He can stop me a lot more with his neck muscles here, but if I can get the crown, I can pull his head forward a lot more. And I want my elbows in tight. I want a nice tight clinch. Don't leave your elbows out, he'll escape. Bring your elbows in tight. If you've got somebody in a clinch, you're not just bringing your knee up. I want to drive the knee through him like a stabbing weapon. I've got them in my clinch and I'm pulling them in and stabbing with my knee at the same time, just like that. Now, if you're getting up from an attack and you've got somebody on the ground in the street, this is not MMA. There's no rules to drive another knee in. Now, if I've got somebody on the ground like this, I may just lift my knee up and hit them right here. Boom, that makes sense. But if I'm going to attack this body, I want those knees to stab through it. When I just lift my knee up, it just slides up his body. But when I take that knee and make it a stab, that hurts. Sometimes if you have a downed opponent, you can just bring the knee up. But if you have a standing opponent, make it a stabbing weapon. But as I demonstrated, even with a downed opponent, from certain angles, you can make that a stabbing weapon. I know this video is largely an intro to these techniques, but I wanted to show you the most simple path to being able to use these. Although much of this would be considered foundational, hopefully I've given you a lot of things to consider and a lot of things that you can train and put into practice. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Take care.